Wow, it's been a morning. Good morning. Hey, today, why don't we talk about what happens when being useful becomes a major part of who you are? And, when you really think about it, this doesn't start in adulthood most time for most of us. It can actually start in our early childhood, when we're able to start making decisions or really becoming aware of what's going on around us. And I'm talking six, we're aware. And if you had siblings or anything, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, especially if you were the oldest, right? If you were the one who could handle things and every time something needed to be done, you stepped in, well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Or maybe you were the one that felt invisible. And we all have at one time or another, right? And you realize that, hmm, the moment you helped, the moment you did something, well, something to help or something to contribute, you were now seen and somebody noticed you and you mattered. It was a different privilege now that you had. And without even realizing it, this pattern, it started taking shape in your mind. And you started learning that if I want to be seen, I help. If I want to matter, I step in. And from there, you really had only two choices. And which one were you? You could act out, right? And get attention that way. And most of us don't want that negative attention. Or you could become the one who handled things, took care of things, helped, fixed things, and made things easier on those around you, right? And a lot of us, especially women, we chose the second. Yeah, there's a few of us that acted out, but most of us chose the second. And so being useful didn't just become something that you did, it became how you learned your place. And when I'm talking about your place in the family, your place in society, and that's the conversation that I want to have with you today. Hey, I'm Michelle O'Neill, and you are here with me this morning, taking a break on Break Time Live. The thing is, once you realize that helping is what gets you seen, that pattern can get set really, really fast because you're learning in this process that if I want to be noticed, I help. If I want to feel like I matter, I offer something. And if I want to feel, stop feeling invisible, well, I step in. And once that clicks, that becomes how you operate in life. And that becomes how you get your needs met. And that becomes how you stop feeling like the shadow, the person that no one notices in the room. And this sometimes is the middle child. So now you've become the person in life. You have friends, they have events, things are going on, and you're the person that they come to help set up everything, right? Because they know, oh, she has a talent for this. She's going to do this. She's going to help me, right? Or you become the person that, well, people can always depend on. You're that one. And on the surface, that sounds great. People appreciate you, right? People praise you. Oh, she always does this. That girl knows what she's doing, right? And people trust you because they know that they can rely on you. And people tell you how much they count on you and rely on you. You're such a good friend. You're so dependable. You always know what to do, the right thing at the right time, and I can always count on you. Have you heard that over and over again? If that's you, raise your hand. And little by little, your value starts getting tied to what you do for others. Not just who you are anymore, but more of what you do. And that is where things start getting a little, well, I say hairy, because now that usefulness is no longer just something you offer. It starts becoming the way that you see your value and how you calculate your worth because you've lived inside of that role for so long. And again, I want to be really clear here because all of this sounds like I'm saying it's wrong to help people and that that's not what I'm saying. I want to get that it's not wrong to help, not at all. And it's not wrong to be dependable. That's a good thing. And it's not wrong to show up for people. I like being the one that I know will show up. I'm always saying, I got you. Those are all good things. They really are. The problem is when that becomes the way you see your value. Can you see past that? The problem is when the reason that you're always stepping in and helping others and always offering is no longer just because you genuinely want to help. Can you say that what you're doing is because you really want to help and you're 100% honest with yourself? Because sometimes underneath that, you started believing this is what makes me seen. This is what helps me or makes me matter to those around me. And when those thoughts become, this is what makes people notice me, this is how people value me now, and this is what makes me someone that they want to keep around, be around, call, that's where you have to stop and ask yourself some honest questions. And I'm going to give them to you because they're questions like, why am I doing this? I mean, really, why am I doing this? Am I helping because I genuinely want to help? Or am I helping because I feel like this is all they want from me? Wow. Am I helping because I care? Do I care? Or am I helping because I'm afraid they wouldn't really see me or reach out to me or value who I am if I wasn't? And one of the ways that you can start noticing if this has become a pattern for you is when you realize you're not there for everybody else. But nobody is there for you. And I'm thinking that what I just said, I twisted it or I had it wrong. So I want to say it again to make sure that you understand that this this has become a pattern for you when you're saying that you're there for everybody else, but nobody is there for you. I got it right that time, right? Sometimes I'm talking and I'm not thinking, or I'm thinking and things get twisted in my brain, but I got it right that time. And the thing is, this is usually a sign that something deeper is going on, a sign that this is no longer about your generosity, but that this has actually become a defining role in your life. And look, this is where things get hard. And I want you to get this, so let me make sure I'm saying this right. When you've built yourself a large slice of your identity around being the one who shows up for everyone, being the one who's always helping, being the one who's always available, when you feel that that's the chunk of what you have to give, I want you to realize this. You don't walk away from that. You don't just turn that off. There comes a point where you have to really stop. And I mean this, stop and ask yourself, is this who I want to be? Is this how I want to live the rest of my life? And if the answer is no, then the next question is really harder. And that's how do I change this? How do I find another way to show up that doesn't always require me to be the one fixing everything? How do I get out of this? How do I start pulling back without feeling like I'm losing myself? Because really, this is how I started seeing myself as well. This is how I started thinking this is all I really have to offer. This is the only way that people are going to see my value. How do I shift those relationships in my life where people who are used to me being that person? How do I start helping them see that there's more to me? How do I retrain my family when this is how they saw me from day one, from the day I birthed them, from the day I married him? How do I look at the people that I've called my friends and realize that some of these friendships were actually built on the role that I've been playing, how I show up in their life. And it's even deeper than that. How do I start believing that my value is more than what I do? Those are hard questions. I mean, really hard. Because we have to be willing to face the answers that we may find or that uncover themselves, right? Because this isn't just about a change in behavior. This is about changing how we've understood ourselves for so long. And you know what? There's one more question that's even harder. If my value isn't what I do, then who am I? And that's hard. And you know what? Right now, I'm going to be honest. You may not even be able to answer that. Because when your whole identity has been tied to being the one who helps, the one who shows up, the one who makes things work, you don't always know who you are outside of that. So, this is where the real work starts. Not fixing everybody else, not stepping in and really not proving your value, but learning yourself again. That beautiful you. Who are you when nobody needs you or need anything from you? Who are you when you're not on performing? And who are you when you're not solving, fixing, or giving? Answer these for me. What makes you smile? What lights you up? What brings you joy? Makes your heart beat stronger in a good way? What do you actually like? Do you know? Have you ever had a moment, maybe on a vacation, maybe when you were away from everything, where it felt light because nobody there needed anything from you? Nobody. I want you to know this. That version of you is not gone. That version of you has just been buried under a robe. And the question isn't just, who am I without being useful? It's, who am I when I give myself permission to be more than that? And I want to leave you with that today. Who am I when I give myself, finally, give myself permission to be more than that? I'd love to hear your answers. Until next time, thank you for taking a break with me today and sitting here with me today. Take care. Bye-bye.